Hey guys, I am going live here because I want to just try to initiate more discussion here on YouTube. I've been really kind of pumped up. I've been paying attention to some of these guys like Matt Skyver and Mitch Britweiser. And I gotta be honest, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the way they're handling this stuff that they're calling Comicsgate, and just kind of pumped up in general to listen to that discussion and to hear people talk about doing their own thing. And I always get excited about entrepreneurial um, concepts. I'm very fascinated with that whole thing. What's up, Alejandro? What's up, First Amp? How you doing, man? It's been a while since I've been on YouTube, and so I'm glad you guys are here hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I'm also excited about future projects and things I'm trying to do, and some of the stuff I want to do on Patreon and all that jazz, frankly. So it's been kind of fun. So I'm drawing Goliath here from Disney's Gargoyles. I'm just trying to get these eyes right to make sure, because he's a tragic kind of character. His eyes tend to be a lot larger from what I remember on the show. I have a reference here too. They could be larger. I think I can go a little larger with these eyes. But yeah, I'm just kind of impressed. I don't necessarily agree with everything that everybody says politically, but I am always supportive of the notion of people doing what they've got to do, not worrying about what's going on with everybody else. That's important to me. Knows that he's a sad character. Yes, he is, Alejandro. He is. He's a sad dude. He's a sad dude. He makes me cry sometimes. Let me see. Actually, he doesn't make me cry, but he deserved a tear or two. Yeah, man. So, so this by widening the shape of his eyes, I kind of get a little more juice out of that. Yeah, I tend to agree with some of those points that they're making on there, but I'm not. I don't really care about getting politically charged about anything anymore these days necessarily. But I'm very supportive of the idea of people getting the work out there and being comfortable doing it. Gargoyle, oh, see, original character a couple days ago, and I used some reference from that cartoon. Oh snap! Dun, 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 dun. He's looking a little like the characters from Street Fighter right now. So yeah, I am not as clever as some of those people are with my commentary. Although I used to be really big on commentary and arguing and that kind of stuff. But I'm more interested in just doing good stuff here. Still messing with the idea though. Okay. Nothing wrong with that, Holmes. Nothing wrong with that. I'm definitely interested in Mitch Britweiser, Red Rooster. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest, though, about that, because I have a Red Rooster character that I can't bring to light anymore because Mitch is doing that, and I'm sad. But I'm happy for him. I'm just sad that so now I'm trying to figure out where everything else goes. Like, all right, so I am planning on. Yeah, I'm going to adjust my camera a bit so you guys can see a better view of the art, I think. Well, it's probably as good as I can get it, I think. Oh, no. Oh, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't get ridiculous. My first guess, like Hugo. Oh, yeah, that's it, Alejandro. My first character, let's see, is young. I'm trying to decide if I'm going more gargoyle or more human. Oh, well, hey, whatever works. I think I put my pen here. So I'm happy overall with what I've done so far here. I'm going to go ahead and just start inking. I'm going to try to pay attention to what everybody's saying as much as possible. I'm going to keep looking up at the chat. So if you guys want to talk, you guys talk to me about what you want to talk about, and I'll try to do that. Is there a way to keep the chat going? There we go. There we go. That works for me. No, it doesn't. I can't leave it like that. Okay, so let's see here. Oh. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. It's all right, Alejandro. I bet you sang that. How do you know? How do you know I was singing? Have you ever drawn 100 characters? No, why would I do that? That's crazy talk. This is like I want to hurt myself. So I like what I've got going on here. I definitely made some adjustments to what I think would be his hair. Detective Mazza. I like how he talks. I guess the question is, have you drawn 100 characters? The voice actor, yeah, he is great. Until we live again. Does the angle of the phone work for you guys? My camera? For what I'm doing here? The pieces that I sold, I sold them on Instagram. I want to try to sell that. I don't know why I'm doing this. I really shouldn't do this because, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if there's a market for the gargoyles right now. But hey, I was trying to think of what to do next. I want to do something that I would enjoy, so I kind of went this route. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes at the expense of making extra cash, you got to try something that you just enjoy doing. And when I don't have an idea for something right off the top of my head, I like to draw characters that I like. And not a lot of them anymore, but there's still a core sampling of those. But anyways. All right. So is Alejandro still here? Or is it still the two of us? Let's see here. Gargoyle always be cool. Oh yeah. What's up, Christine? How are you? Gargoyles is cool. It will always be cool. Right. I agree with that because when I was younger, I caught this show when it first came out. I think I was in the army at the time. I was an older. a young man, but I was still older than I was. What was the name of that cartoon again? This one's the Gargoyles. It's called Gargoyles. And I remember watching for the first time, and oh, I was just blown away. The first couple of episodes, the animation on that was just remarkable. It really was really good. And then as time went on, the seasons afterward didn't look as nice. But regardless, this one looked pretty cool. Oh, it's just the two of us again. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. So I'm drawing these a lot larger than I normally would. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. Yeah, I served in the army, in the military, U.S. military, and in the early '90s, very early '90s, right after high school. I've never really drawn this guy, and one of the reasons why he's a tough sell is because he doesn't really have. I mean, there might be fans of his or whatever, but he doesn't. I haven't quite gotten to that yet. So hopefully, um, oh, he's got a third little spike. Does he? I just see two there. No, it's just the two. Okay. Were they fighting and protecting him? Oh, I remember watching a few episodes. Can't remember a lot though. Were they fighting? Yeah. They would. They were always. The very first season, they had like a hideout at the top of. I think they were on the top of the police station, and it was like a big, you know, like there was a clock nearby. Like they had a clock at the top of the police station in whatever city they were in. Well, no, that's not true. They started off in the castle. They were always in the castle that had been transplanted to whatever. I think it was New York. I think it was New York. Pretty sure. That was a '90s New York, though. That's where all the hoodlums and the gangsters look like they came out of the Ninja Turtles cartoon. I'm going to do a little feathering here just to give that eye a little more, like, cause I'm not doing any shadows here, but this will help sell the idea that the eyes are dark, or they're at least in shadow of some sort. Maybe what I can do is I can also, well, I'm not sure about that. We'll keep working on this. Let's keep doing one. Let's keep going with the way I'm going. I had a plan. Let's stick with the game plan. I like Hudson, the one voiced by Ed. Yeah, man. That was Ed Asner? No kidding. Yeah, it makes sense now. My favorite was Bronx, the dog, because I'm from the Bronx originally. So that always made me proud. Like, oh man, yeah, he's from the Bronx. All right, so here we go. I'm probably going to be on here for about 30, 40 minutes. And then I'm going to have to cut out so I can get some rest. Well, I might do a little bit on Instagram as well, but for now, I don't think I can go live on Instagram, though, can I? No, IGTV. I don't think I have a live thing for that. Okay. I always got to be careful that I don't go over any of the lines with my hand. It's good time for me as well. I'm doing some watercolors. Oh, right on, man. Sounds good. Sounds good. For a while, I was listening to this video that I heard these dudes talking about stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was also watching a lot of ghost stories on Amazon Prime. I love the ghost stories, those supernatural shows. Gosh, man, my buddy's gonna yell at me. Why are you drawing Goliath? I'm gonna tell him I lost my mind. I lost my damn mind. Let's see if I can create some cool lines over here. I think I need to also do a little bit of the shape of that area. Sucked into the Amazon YouTube. Whoops. I know, right? Uh, that was my night or my days. They've been like that too. When I'm not, I used to have a day job, so I had a lot of chatter that would happen all day long. But now, working from home, YouTube has become an interesting friend to me, which is weird because I criticize my kids for spending too much time on YouTube, and here I am spending all this time. How would you feel about them putting Punisher in the next Defenders? Um, that's an interesting question. I don't think it would work as well because I think they've identified Punisher as a maverick. You know, one of the one of my criticisms for Punisher, for Defenders, the Netflix show itself, was that it, and I don't know why it happened. I don't know if it was necessary or not, but it definitely seemed like it weakened some of the characterization for guys like Daredevil. Like it made him. It was a little more of a cartoony, a little more funny, a little more like Avengers than it was like a Netflix show. And in that regard, I felt a little like wasn't sure about that as a solution. Um, you know, aside from the foolishness that is um, Iron Fist on that show, on those shows. Overall, I thought it was okay, you know, but I felt like we got less of the kind of Daredevil that I've come to expect, and he's my favorite of those characters now. Although I've really enjoyed of season two of Luke Cage. I thought it was really good. So yeah, man, I feel like I feel like if they put Punisher in that, I think it would weaken. I think it would weaken his character because he's not a. I don't think he should be funny. I think he should be tragic. I think he should be sad, and you should feel bad for his situation, and he should feel bad for his victims. And I think I don't want to turn that into something that's goofy. What was that? Yeah, he's the big dog now. Who's the big dog? Cage? I'm assuming because of your comment about it. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's an interesting idea, and I thought that he was going to be in it in the first place. But now that I've seen an actual season of Punisher, I don't think that he would fit as well, and I don't want him to be there. I think he has a very special space in those shows, and I don't want that to be tainted. Because if I see another one, I want to see more of that. I want to see him take down guys ruthlessly, and those guys on the Defenders wouldn't let that happen. So no, I don't think that would work as well. Not my opinion. But you know what, man? Who am I? I'm just some dude enjoying Goliath right now. Right on, man. Right on, right on. Right on, right on, right on. Right on, right on, right on. Who else would be a good welcome? Who would you want to see besides some of those characters? Who could be an addition to a Netflix Marvel universe? And with that said, do you think they're going to move all those shows to the Disney service eventually when it finally launches? I think they will. It's going to be a sad day. I don't think Disney is proving to me right now that they've got these properties under control. I think they've done a good job with Marvel, um, but I don't think, and I think that's because of Feige. And I don't know if we're gonna have the same producers and everything over at Disney if it ever shifts. So I don't know. I kind of hope that somehow we can keep those shows there on Netflix. I think Netflix does a good job. I'm getting I'm getting a weird thing. I keep getting a chat. Oh, I see. People are talking and I haven't got it. I've watched much of season one. I had to watch something less bloody and violent. Too grown for Disney to put it on Disney Network. I think so, but they're gonna need to. I think that's why they want to buy. I'm very sure that's why they want to buy Fox. It's not really to get the X-Men over to those movies. It's so they can have more content for their streaming service. So, I mean, look, I like Disney a lot, and in particular, I love what how Disney has handled Marvel Studios. I'm just not real proud of what's going on. Yeah, full circle. I'm not proud of what's going on, like say with Star Wars. And I'm not even like a big Star Wars guy. I'm not even like their core customer necessarily. I'm more like that casual guy. Maybe that casual guy is the core customer after all. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, full circle with the Disney talk, right? So yeah, so I elected to draw Goliath. What am I doing? It's going to take me a couple hours to do this, I think, to do it justice, and then I'm going to be like, why did I do that? Nobody bought it. Although that's not true. I did a Gargoyles thing years ago, and I did Goliath. It was more like in a Joe Madureira style. I did Goliath and I did Demona, and I sold them. I found a customer for it, but it took a couple of shows before I found that customer. Right. I think I like this. I mean, regardless of how it'll perform financially for me, I think the illustration is nice. Did you watch Incredibles 2? Heck yeah, bro. I loved it. I loved it. I love that show, that movie, that show. I would call it a show. It's a movie. I loved it. And I know that some people are at odds with it, but I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think we're in a time now where everyone wants to be angry at everything, so it's easy to be angry. There's some legitimate reasons to be frustrated with certain things, but Incredibles was not it. I thought it was a good showing, a good effort on Rappler's part, a great effort. I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself here with some of this. Let's go back to some of the hair. Did you do fan art after watching it? No, actually, I did fan art before I watched it. To be honest, about a couple weeks before I saw the movie, I was really excited about it. Maybe more than that. Maybe about a month. But I'm not. I don't do a lot of fan art. I don't get like caught up in something and want to draw it. You know, my goal is to sell art. So um, I don't do a lot of fan art. Well, I think you can call everything I do fan art since I don't work for these companies anymore. But I think, though, what I mean is um, I don't do it because I'm inspired by it. Now, if I see something that I really like in Incredibles, it might inspire me to do a twist on the idea. My own interpretation of that idea was something else. And I do have a couple of things cooking, but they were there before I saw the movie. Yeah, old school superhero stuff, and I think that's pretty cool. Um, and it's about telling a story about superheroes from a family perspective. That's how about one of my best friends says that he considers it to be kind of the Watchmen light, and I kind of disagree because Watchmen is it's the deconstruction approach to comics where Incredibles just kind of expands on the idea, keeps all the adventure and humor of comics, or really adventure, I guess is the thing. I can get this. Yeah, anti-hero. I agree. So, and I think that what we get out of Incredibles is pro-hero, but it's like, sorry, guy, my sorry about that. There's something. My app stopped. That's weird. I think the YouTube police heard me talking about that movie. Nobody wants to talk about Incredibles. Sorry. All right. Yeah. So I mean, oh, that answer that question. So, in your opinion, do you think Superman and Batman should be together? No, I don't. Do you want to know why? Do you think they should be together? I'll tell you why I don't. I'll tell you why I don't. I'm going to assume that you wanted to hear my opinion, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Give it to you. I don't think that those characters go well together, and I'll tell you why. One of the things that I believe that I really truly believe this that beauty, and this is my opinion, I believe that beauty is found in contrast. Um, even when something is, when two things are symmetrical in art, they share symmetry, even the gap between the two things is contrast. So contrast is everywhere, so sweet and sour, fat and skinny, tall and short. This creates a dynamic that I think is necessary for beauty to exist. So, you know, you appreciate the good times because of the rain, the sunshine because of the rain, that sort of stuff. It's that overarching, for me, it's an overarching principle, a life principle for me. It's how I relate to the world. It's how I understand God and all that. They are they're basically the same character, and that's in fact it's ironic because even in the Justice League movie, one of the concerns I had was in order to make Superman, Wonder Woman did a good job of making it, whoever, I forgot the lady's name that made that movie, the director, but she did a great job making a Wonder Woman movie. However, that Wonder Woman character was a lot more like Superman than relationships. I think you need Superman to have. I think it's important to have the the contrast between man, the universe, and a feeble woman. And I love, and she's not, no, I shouldn't say she's feeble. She's not feeble. She's just comparatively, she's not on a God level like Superman is. So she is a normal human, or I should say a feeble human, not a feeble woman, a feeble human. Stays grounded. Yeah, 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 yeah. So the feeble human against Superman's greatness forces Superman to deal with normal human things, even though he's not even human, which is a big part of his character. That's why when people just kind of make him, oh, he's just like a god. Like, no, he's not. He's not a god. He doesn't think of himself as a god. He sees himself as a farm boy from Kansas. And so that alone that gives you some of that. Now, if Superman thought of himself as like Orion in the New Gods, then that'd be a little different. But he doesn't. He sees himself as a farm boy. That's been his character for a long time. So, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? I feel like it's more appropriate. Always be there. Right. Let's not go there. So I feel like because of that, it's important to have Superman. His cast is more of like, one of my criticisms about a character called Doc Savage from the old Kenneth Rogerson books. He's a great character, but the humans in his world, the average humans in his world, only exist to make him look, to fawn after him, which is boring because he's so powerful. So they just use the feeble human approach in the wrong way. But when done properly, Superman gets a lot of support from his human wife, and she's really powerful. In some ways, she's more powerful than he is, but without the strength. She's powerful. Her attitude. She's a powerful woman. She's a powerful and strong supporter and wife. So, well, they do that in the cartoons because during the New 52, which is probably the cartoons that you're basing your opinion on or your perspective on, that was the goal, was to try to make them. I thought that was a mistake. I always thought that was a mistake because I feel like true beauty is going to come from that contrast. And this is, again, just my opinion. I mean, you can, sometimes fat is just fat and skinny is just skinny, but something about the two of them together, when you see it in architecture, you see the nature, you to appreciate that the variety is what creates the beauty, not the same, the sameness. But, and of course, there's, there's, what do they call that? There are exceptions to every rule, if that were even a rule. Elias Fernandez's rule, jerkmonger rule, jerkmonger art rule, beauty, if that helps at all. So yeah, so they definitely encourage that in the New 52, which is no longer an aspect of their storytelling. So they've clearly gone back to the traditional approach, which I think is great. And I think the reason why people will say things like, "Oh, it's boring," I think because they don't know how to write that. That's, I have a very interesting, mundane but interesting life with my wife and my family. Yep, balance. That's exactly right. It's a balance. It's a matter of balance. I did something weird here, didn't I? Let me try. So yeah, that's my opinion. That's how I sees it, and that's how I roll with that. Let me see here. I'm just kind of got away from me there. I think I got distracted with my computer. That's bad when you distract yourself from your art. All I gotta do is just talk and draw. But I'm not balancing everything properly around here. Yeah, it's like these little areas, the dark against the light. That's the beautiful stuff there. That's where beauty comes from. That's why, I like doing those on Instagram. If you guys follow me there, I do a lot of these things I call black and red series. And what's helpful in the black and red series is that I do those big blank fields of white or black. They're just negative space or positive space. I don't fill them in with detail. This is a lot more rendering than I would even like to do. But this is because I know I have a group of customers that appreciate this sort of detail. So that's one of the reasons why I do it. But personally, I prefer simple, simple lines and stuff like that too in my work. But I am believing this is Goliath though, so I'm proud of what I've done so far. It looks great. I'm one of the customers. I'm enjoying it. Thank you. But even though I just said what I said about contrast, or the simple line, even that can be a lot of. If you look at Chris Sami, who inspires me a lot in my work, you don't see it in the work that I do, but in terms of my approach to some of my personal projects, I love that simplicity. But even in that, there's deep there's contrast in that. That's the clean, the white against the black, and it's just more of a simplified version of that. Here, it's a little more nuanced but there are tones and there's subtle shifts, and that by itself is contrast. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I bring all that up to say that the character needs balance. To kind of answer the question, you know, ultimately, character needs balance, and he like Batman works really well. I prefer a relationship between Batman and Wonder Woman because to me that makes sense. That's an interesting contrast. You have a normal human who's basically the god of the underworld, and he's the Hades to their pantheon, and you have an actual goddess in Wonder Woman. To me, that's even more interesting that he can hold his own. He's a simple human again, another another mere human, but as the Joker told Lex Luthor in that episode of World's Finest, there's nothing mere about that mortal. But he is mortal, and I think that that's part of the charm of Batman, is that he is a normal man who happens to have access to that superhuman world, the supernatural world of superheroes. There's a natural man and an unnatural or supernatural world. So, he gets the pass, and he gets to interact, and that creates some interest when you have a character like Batman who happens to be dating a goddess or an Amazon. That's cool. Batman and Catwoman is interesting because you have yet another contrast. Said, I never saw it that way. In the Supergirl, Batman got Darkseid shook. Yes, 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 and understandably so. so, so, what was I going to say there about that? Oh, I just had a thought that I was going to express, but oh well, must not have been that important. Okay, so maybe the hair comes here instead. I'm just using, again, I'm letting the hair be blocks of black versus that. Oh, Batman and Catwoman. Oh, okay, yeah, the contrast there. They're both mere humans that deal with that, right? I didn't think of those two would go together. Yeah, yeah, that's something that makes sense for me. Bruce Timm played around with that idea in his old Justice League show. But in terms of that concept being played out in Catwoman and Batman, the reason why that idea rocks is because they're both, one's good and one's bad. Tension there, so that there's more of that balance and more of that contrast you get to play with. So yeah, it's not the same kind of contrast, but you get, a hero to villain, which is a fascinating thing by itself. So you get a lot of mileage out of that, I think. Let's see. Yeah, same with Talia. Yeah, that's why that seems sexy because, it seems taboo. It creates a tension romantically that you kind of want to explore further. Um, Again, if it were just that he were, if he's dating Vicky, that doesn't work. That's why it was almost made sense to keep him celibate and single. I don't think he was ever celibate, but you know what I mean. Unhinged or unhitched, whatever the word terminology is for that. It doesn't work with Spider-Man. Uh, you know why? Maybe it's because Spider-Man doesn't behave like he's not the arachnite god of Gotham. He's he's a normal he is a normal human with a bunch of his powers. So he he's Superman has a quiet, he has a humility to him. I think that's why it works for him. Peter Parker isn't humble. He's genuinely inept at times. He doesn't know what to do, at least the way he's been portrayed classically. And then, so he's just the blind leading the blind. He's still trying to figure things out as well. Whereas, so Mary Jane, who's also lost in the sauce, she doesn't contribute anything, and she's not really that strong either of a character. I like her. I like her for Peter Parker, but I can see where there's a conflict in the way you see it. I can see that's my opinion. I think that might be what you're registering there. I'm going to switch over to a different. Oh no, let me do something more here. All right. Before I go into any more detail, I'm going to grab my other brush, which is what I use for the bigger areas. This Pentel brush. Oh no, wrong one. This Pentel brush pen. Where do I have it at? I thought I had it here. It's a different one. Here it is. This one, it's when I bought it, came with a black barrel, so I had black ink. This is the same black ink, but no, it's not same product, but it's still different. This one here is just a fatter brush compared to the other one. The other one they make is like a medium brush tip, and they do a fine point brush tip. This is the bold brush tip, or large. I'm just doing his wing in the background there. Keeping the shape rough because it's supposed to be in the background. I don't want to make it too precise just because I want the contrast to be there. I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it. Okay. And I just kind of try to make my point fine again. So I can put it back into the cap. Simply enough. Usually comes thin. Yes, it does, Alejandro. It does come thin usually. So I'm going to wait for this to dry. I don't care. I love it. My wife likes that song. But they use in commercials. She always gives me a little smile. Yeah, I'm being very careful not to put my hands everywhere so I don't smear ink where it doesn't belong. I need to put a little dark there. Do you think it looks like Goliath? Did I accomplish my goal here? Looks a little Fabio, doesn't it? I think I went too Fabio on this. The jawline, yeah, right. The jawline came out good. I'm proud of it overall. I just, I'm working large, and I usually have more control of things when it's tighter. And I'm also working in a weird angle, so I keep looking like this to see how it's panning out. I think overall it's good. When I add the other eye, obviously it'll make a big difference. Let me go ahead and, this is pretty close to dry right now. Make sure. I'm going to, dun, dun, dun. Do you think people will recognize it as Goliath, or are they going to be like, what the heck is this nonsense? That's what I'm afraid of. But, that's what I get for drawing Goliath. Let me see. The paper size is 9 by 12. Deep in the heart. I just watched Kingsman, The Golden Circle last night, so that song's in my head. What do you think about that, Alejandro? Was that good to you? That was okay. I like the action in it. That was good. Mm, 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 mm. Dun, 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 dun. Deep in the heart. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add a little love, a little feathering love over here since I'm doing so much of it. Oh man, I'm going to get ink everywhere. Hold on. And try to rest my hand where I'm not going to ruin this. That line seems good. The first one was better. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the mine scene was good. Yeah, it was some good stuff. There was some good stuff in that movie. It was good action. I feel like that movie is very scattered. Both of them were kind of like that. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not totally sure why it's happening. So I don't know. I don't know I don't know what to do with it. But yeah, they really loaded it up. Villain didn't do it for me. Yeah, yeah, me neither. And then, I mean, she's a beautiful woman. I liked her better in Jurassic Park, but she's actually a good actress in multiple things. She's done some cool horror stuff too. But overall, though, yeah, the first one, Sam Jackson was good. But Sam Jackson was odd too. He was a really odd hero or villain. He was just an odd character. So I don't know if that means the same thing. Yeah, the lisp. Yeah, that lisp was funny. It's weird to see Sam in those roles anymore because he's done such large parts like in Avengers, and yet he seems to kind of, I've been looking lately, he's almost like a Nicolas Cage. He's just working, which is good for him. I think that's actually a good thing. All right, overall, I'm just waiting for some of these spots to dry a little bit more so I can put my hand on top of this and start, because I want it to darken up. Give him a little more eyeliner here. That really makes him. Oh, I really liked Hateful Eight. I really liked Hateful Eight. I thought that was better than I expected it to be. I'm not the Tarantino fan I think I'm supposed to be. I love Kill Bill, Kill Bill 1. Kill Bill 2, I'm not sure I love Kill Bill 2 enough. But Kill Bill 1 was good. And so back to the Hateful Eight though. Hateful Eight was delicious. It was a rich story. Maybe I should like it more. I just, I think I took my wife on a date. It was one of our first dates. And we went to go see Pulp Fiction. Um, probably not the best first date movie, but uh, stupid me. Who knew? Who knew back then? I was like, oh, it's this new movie. It's called Pulp Fiction. I don't know. It's getting a lot of good buzz. I wasn't. My palate for film wasn't quite developed back then, so I didn't know what I was getting into. You're cracking up. All right, so let's see. All right, so I gotta come in here with some eyeliner again. And come over here. Throw in some eyelashes there. Get some of the pulp area of the eye there. Throw in some feathering in here. It's all very formulaic for me. I get to do it the same way every time. Go over here. I think overall it's pretty good. Overall it's pretty good. Oh, she stuck around. It must have been John Travolta dancing. Yeah. That's another one, man. I remember I used to have a thing for Uma Thurman. And you know when she was really attractive? She was really beautiful in that movie. Well, she really looked beautiful in. There's an old movie about I forget the name of it. It's about Munchausen or something or other, like a fairy tale movie. She looked gorgeous. She played is it not Aphrodite? I don't remember what she played. She played some sort of goddess or something. And then she looked good in my super ex-girlfriend? She was beautiful in that movie. But that goes to show makeup can do quite a bit for you. And I thought she was pretty attractive in Kill Bill. But ever since then, I can't look at her. She just scares me. Oh, see, I messed up the eye. One iris is too large. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to create a little layer over here of line to make it look like it's larger. This is a larger iris, and I'm going to add a little line in the side of this. There you go. All right. So, there you have it, kids. I effectively drew Goliath from Disney's. Next up, DuckTales. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think I have creative enough to do a decent DuckTales or Darkwing Duck interpretation. I'd ruin it. You know what I want to see now? Now I have the urge to see Lost in Space again on Netflix. I don't know why. I just got the urge. It's like a craving for some Lost in Space. Okay, so I like this. There's some really mature art going on here. Poison Ivy. Oh yeah, I thought she was pretty good there. Okay, pack it up and ship it out. Well, you know what I'm going to do? And I might as well finish it up here. I'm going to go ahead and do the red and black thing, because that's still a signature thing I'm trying to launch Pat McQuack. I'm going to go ahead and add the red. This ink is running out in this barrel, but I have enough in here to make it go a little further. I'm going to give him a red background. Be real dramatic. Again, it happened again. Don't know what's going on. The app keeps wanting to quit on me. This is one of the reasons why I kind of moved away from live streaming, but I like doing it. I don't care. I don't care. I like talking. Yeah, see, I'm gonna make this work all the way across, so we'll see what happens here. So I think I'm gonna sell this. This is a larger than normal piece, using a lot more material, a little longer than normal. I think this is going to be another $95 one. But because it's Goliath, I probably won't get that. I gotta figure this out. Sorry for the whistling. I just enjoy it. Hey, do I sound okay on here? Am I too loud? Am I too soft? Or what do you guys think? Yeah, I like this. Like I said, I'm not sure I'm going to get a lot of buzz on this one, but I'm probably going to take the video and I don't know if I can actually. I don't know if it records it to my phone. I'm so close, please finish up. Alejandro, I'm thinking about, like I said, I'm thinking about going with 95. What do you think? What's in your budget? What's in your wallet? Get it, get it. That's an eyelash. I will DM you soon because I'm getting ready to buy a house and we'll get the basement. I will decor man cave. You might say, oh, right on, right on. Well, I'm going to put it up on Instagram. If you don't want it here, I'll put it up on Instagram and then see if someone wants to buy it there. And hopefully it'll still be there. Oh, hopefully I sell it, but if you really want it, we'll figure something out. Unless you want to DM me. All right, that's it. There's my Goliath. So it's faithful to the red and black series. And I'm gonna wait. I gotta sign it. I gotta sign it. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Okie dokie. Yeah, this will do. There's my signature. I hear you, man. I hear you. That's why I sell my art, brother. I'm with you. I'm with you. I got my 2 kiddos and my wife. Same deal, bro. And I got a dog, and I'm dog sitting another one, so go figure. But you can always hit me up when you're ready, man. Don't worry about that. And don't forget, guys, I also have a Patreon, and I use Patreon to promote more of my personal projects, my personal IP stuff. And I'm using Instagram and YouTube and maybe Twitch again for commissions and things like this, more fan art oriented things. But either way, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you know where to find me on Instagram, you know where to find me here on YouTube, and you know where to find me. Same thing on Twitter. I don't use it much, but if I did, that's where I would be. Elliot Fernandez Art or Jerkmonger. I think I need Twitter on Jerkmonger still. All right, kids. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And we will talk soon.